Are you ready?
Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. I just got done watching the 28 years later The Bone Temple trailer, and initially before I watched the trailer I thought we weren't going to see much until I realised that it is only 4 months until this movie comes out, so maybe we will see a little bit more, and I think we got more than we bargained for in this first trailer. We've seen a lot, so there is a lot to unpack, a lot to discuss because of what happened in the first movie, the cliffhanger of course, with Jimmy and his gang, the Jimmy Savile gang. So a lot to unpack here with the trailer breakdown. There might be some things that I miss, and if there is, I'm hoping that you guys can let me know what I missed, or if there's anything that you think I've misinterpreted, then please let me know. So as the title would suggest, the Bone Temple will play a big part in this movie. As you can see here, this is how the trailer starts off. It's also quite evident that the movie will go back to 2002 yet again, like they did at the beginning of 28 years later. I really like that aspect because not only do we get to see the outbreak from other people's point of views, but we get to see the aesthetic to see what they can do with that. I like the fact that they're also using set pieces from the first movie to show what it used to look like in 2002. So we're not going miles away down to London this time. We're staying up north at either the north of England or the south of Scotland, where we see this train wreck and we see it before and after. The character in this train, I'm not too sure who it is. I think it might be Kelson. I don't know. I did see an image of Kelson, like an exclusive shot, which I think maybe coincides with this. And obviously you can see that this is the bald person, so it kind of has to be Kelson. Don't know what this crow or raven is eating. I don't know if that's like old skin or just maybe a piece of paper, but whatever it is, it's really liking it. This is when I've realised as well that in this trailer, we see Dr. Kelson obviously alone, and he's always been alone. He's been alone for years. Even Jamie in the first one talking about how crazy Dr. Kelson used to be. But as you can see here, he had a family. I wouldn't be surprised if some of his family members are people that we've seen before. If it is, then cool. If it's not, then fair enough. But I think this movie is going to show us the humanity in this doctor and the fact that he's maybe one of the main characters that we will have to get behind. And if you ever want to know what Voldemort looks like with hair, there you go. I think the good thing about Dr. Kelson is he is constantly reading. He's still got his books on medicine, so he's not lost it at all. He's always had it up there in his head. And the good thing is you see it in this trailer where you've got all the different types of medical books so he can keep himself up to date even after the outbreak in 2002. Unlike a lot of the communities, as much as I can see anyway, Dr. Kelson has found a way to get himself some electricity. I'm assuming he's using maybe water, etc., to power something, but he's obviously got electricity here to play his music.
Will one day pass away completely.
Also love the use of the old gramophone. Is it a gramophone where you hear the man talking through the speaker? Is very reminiscent of the first trailer with the boots, boots, boots. This time it's just someone speaking. Here we've got a face-off between Dr. Kelson and Samson. We did see an earlier image of Samson with cloth around his waist, so I'm assuming that Dr. Kelson drugs him so he can maybe put some clothes on him because we don't want to see what's underneath that. But that's not the main issue with this image. If you look behind Dr. Kelson, it looks like there's someone sitting in the grass. I don't know if they're injured and wounded, and the Alpha Samson is going to try and get that person, and Dr. Kelson is protecting them. Samson does look fantastic in this. I'm loving the look of these alphas because they are a big threat. Usually in zombie movies, you don't feel like there's a threat anymore. The threat usually is other human beings. But in this one, he genuinely feels like he is a threat. Therefore, I hope that we see more of Samson, and I hope we see a lot more of the situations that some of the characters get themselves in, like in the causeway scene with Jamie and Spike when they were running back to the mainland, and the other alpha, not Samson, but the other one was running towards them. I want to see more scenes like that. Here we've got our first look at the Jimmy gang, the Jimmy Savile gang. Is it safe to say that now, guys? Because when I done my trailer breakdown for the first movie, 28 years later, I called them the Jimmy Gang, and I said that the Jimmy Savile Gang are going to make an appearance in the movie. And people thought I was crazy. They were saying, "You are disgusting. That would never happen. Danny Boyle would never do that. Alex Garland would never allow that to happen. And Sonny would never allow something like that to happen. You're crazy. You're lying." And then when it came out with the Jimmy Savile Gang at the end, the amount of people that get back to me and say, "Oopsie daisy, I'm really sorry. I believe you now," was astonishing. And a lot of people obviously didn't reply back to me after I said to them, "Come back to me when you watch the movie and let me know what you think of me then." They didn't do that. So here we have the Jimmy Savile Gang. These group of people, I have no idea who they are because I've never seen them before, and it's hard to see the people in the distance. It's only the woman whose face is in focus. So I don't know if they're part of Jamie's island on Holy Island or they're part of another crew somewhere else. It could very well be though that one of these characters gets turned upside down and left for dead like we saw in the first movie. That could be them, so we could be going back in time just a little bit. But if it's not, maybe one of them or some of them might get turned upside down anyway, and this is maybe the Jimmy Gang's calling card. This is their message that they leave to people, that if you don't pay up or do what we tell you to do, you're going to die. But this is the gang in all their glory. The first time we see them in this trailer as a group. And yes, they all look like they're dressed up like Jimmy Savile. Yes, I know that some people thought they were dressed up as Power Rangers or Teletubbies, but no, they're dressed up as the Jimmy Savile Gang. Whatever's happened to these people though, I don't think it's nice. And I'm guessing that they're getting Jimmy carved onto their stomachs here. When I first watched the trailer, I thought this was Jamie's house where he lived in the first movie. It might still be, and if it is, then it means that the Jimmy Gang have made it to Holy Island. But watching it again and again, I'm not too sure. I think I'll need to go back to the house in the first movie to see if that is the case. But if it's not, then they've went into somebody else's house and it looks like they're going to torture them. Whoever it is that they've went into his house, they're obviously scared of this gang of people, which confirms that these are the antagonists of the movie. As you can see here, the youngest member of the Jimmy Gang is Spike. They've made Spike one of the Jimmys. I'm sure Spike doesn't want to be there, but he's obviously scared and he's just going along with what they're doing. This Jimmy has found Dr. Kelson, it seems, and they look a bit shocked as to what Dr. Kelson is doing. I think everybody looks like that anyway. Like Jamie mentioned to Spike, he said that when he saw Dr. Kelson burning lots of bodies, they took it back because of the smell and just how normal it looked to Dr. Kelson. So I think this Jimmy has realised that there's a Dr. Kelson there doing that. And if that's the case, she'll go back and tell the Jimmy Gang, and the Jimmy Gang will come after Dr. Kelson. I'm loving the abandonment of the place after 30 years. I don't know where this is supposed to be, but it looks like a cross between Scotland and England, so it could be round about the border, because that's where Jimmy picks up Spike at the end of the movie, or I assume that's where he's picked him up, because we have to assume that Jimmy is still in or around Scotland, because the first time we saw him was in the Highlands, and he's obviously made his way down to near the border of Scotland and England. And as you can see here, when that girl mentions to the Jimmy Gang about Dr. Kelson, they obviously find where Dr. Kelson is living. He's living in the Bone Temple, and I think this is where the finale is going to take place. Now, the reason that I left this part out of the trailer breakdown until now is because you would be forgiven if you thought that this was Jamie at the start of the trailer when he's running away from the zombies. Yes, we're going to call them zombies because everybody else calls them zombies now, even characters in the movie. However, you would be forgiven if you thought that that was Jamie. But if you look at this scene here, it's clearly not Jamie, but it also looks like Alpha Samson. And if it is, then they've went back in time and then maybe they've turned him into an alpha. I don't know. This might not be Samson at all, but it definitely looks like him before he get turned. Even when you look in this scene here, that's still not very clear if that's Samson or not. It's probably not. It's just a theory, guys. But if it is him, then this other alpha is maybe turning him into it, but I wouldn't know why he would do that, because this alpha would probably just rip his spine out of his neck. So the chances of it being Samson are very slim, but it's a cool theory. It's quite clear here that Holy Island does get attacked. You can see the gates opening up. People are burning alive. I don't know if it's maybe the infected that are burning or a mixture of the infected and the people of Holy Island that are trying to protect it at the gates. But Holy Island, I think, is going to play a big role in terms of maybe a big action scene. I don't know who these two people are. We haven't come across them yet, but I'm assuming that they're going to get captured by the Jimmy Savile gang for either information or just to be tortured. I know you can see in the background it looks like an infected running towards them. Yes, they'll probably be attacked by the infected, but I think they'll get rescued by the Jimmy gang, thinking that they've rescued them, but in actual fact, they're just going to kill them. I'm not sure if these two scenes are together. It makes it look like it's supposed to be, but it might not be. But you can see Alpha coming towards someone, whether that be Spike or not, I don't know, but you've got Spike here anyway with the dodgy haircut. Initially, when I done my trailer reaction to it on my other channel, I thought that was a young Jimmy. Because it came so fast, I thought it was maybe young Jimmy from 2002 when he maybe finds a wig and puts it on, but it's not, it's young Spike. Maybe Jimmy doesn't kill Spike because he reminds him of him when he was a kid back in 2002. Here's a scene with Dr. Kelson and you can see Jimmy in the background. Jimmy is of course going to play a big role in this one, which is cool, but I don't know if this is their first meeting or their next meeting, because obviously earlier in the trailer, we see the Jimmy gang get into the Bone Temple in the darkness. So I don't know if they take over it in the dark and this is the next day, or this could be the takeover and they've already taken over by the point we get to the darkness. This girl in the Jimmy gang, I'm still not too sure about her because she's the one that noticed Dr. Kelson in the distance. That's what I'm thinking, but it's possible that she's watching from a distance the actual gang itself. Maybe she's seen what they're doing and she doesn't agree with it, and she looks like she's going on a solo journey. So it could be that she's escaped from the gang and she no longer wants to be with them. Maybe she saw things that she didn't want to see and she's ran away. Or it could be that she's after these two and this infected was just coming towards her and she's after them as part of the Jimmy gang. To me, it looks like little Spike makes his way back to Holy Island to try and get back to his dad, and he gets back from the looks of this image, and you can see the Jimmy gang also gets there as well. So we could see a finale, even though the movie's called The Bone Temple, it could be that the finale takes place in Holy Island where Alpha comes back to get his baby and the Jimmy gang go back after Spike escapes from them. So it could all take place on Holy Island. There's a nice shot of one of the Jimmys with a nice lit up background of the Bone Temple. And guys, please don't tell me that's Jamie at the right hand side there lying down dead. If it's not Jamie, could it be the guy that I thought was Jamie initially that could turn out to be Samson? I don't know, but that person lying down dead, hopefully it's not Jamie. As for the person that's turning, no idea who that is. I think the train is going to make a big appearance in this one. Obviously we saw the before and after of the train, but you can see that there's people sleeping on the train. Maybe they're trying to escape some people or a gang, and they're hiding underneath dead bodies as well. So there could have been a massacre during this scene that we don't know about yet, and if there wasn't, maybe it's just dead bodies that were already lying there. But I personally think that a lot of people are going to die in this scene and people are going to be hiding underneath bodies. Can't really make it out what Jimmy is sitting on here, but it could be some sort of seat in a soft play area or a playground or a theme park. If it is anything like that that's maybe child friendly, I think that adds more to the darkness in his character because of who he worships. He obviously worships Jimmy Savile, so I think there's going to be a lot of similarities, possibly accidentally within his character, like he doesn't realise what Jimmy Savile is in real life because the world ended before Jimmy Savile was caught. So I'm not sure to what extent he knows about Jimmy Savile yet, but the similarities are quite scary. I think that's also Spike's initiation scene when he says, "Are you ready?" to Spike. I'm assuming that's when maybe they'll shave Spike's head and give him a little blonde wig. There's more of the train sequence. You can see that Samson is in the train still. He smashed someone out of the train, someone with hair, so I don't know who it is, but you can see that Samson is clearly wearing that robe around his waist. The guy is absolutely jacked. He's massive. I think he's about 6'10" in real life, so he's a scary looking dude. And there we go. That just kind of confirms that little Spike got his hair shaved off. You can see that he has no hair left. It's just a skinhead that he's got. And it looks like he's maybe trying to escape at some point. I don't know if that's early on or later on in the movie, but he's tried to escape and the Jimmy Savile gang have caught him, and it looks like they're maybe going to try and give him a Chelsea smile. I feel bad for Dr. Kelson here, because I don't know if it's going to end well for him, and if he doesn't die, I think his Bone Temple will fall to the ground, because you can see obviously here there's something happening. Don't know what's happening to Dr. Kelson here, whether he's turning into one of the infected or he's maybe doing some sort of chant. I've no idea. But after that scene, you can see that everything starts to go into flames around. But again, I don't know if that's Dr. Kelson that's done that to protect something or someone, or if it's the Jimmy gang that's done it. So what are your thoughts on that, guys? Is there anything that I've missed? Do you think Jimmy is going to be the antagonist in this movie? Because remember, there is going to be a third movie in this trilogy. So depending on what happens with the antagonists, the Jimmy gang in this one will depend on who are the bad guys, who are the main antagonists in that finale. I don't know if he's going to be the main antagonist in that one, and if he's not, could he turn into a good guy in this one to maybe help people in the third one with maybe Jim from the first movie? Anyway, guys, I'm waffling on here. If you have any thoughts or opinions, leave those down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat!